Hello guys, and welcome to a new WARNO video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you a 3 versus 3 on Railway, and I'm going to be playing with the new Zone de Defense Paris. This is a new division that came out in the latest Nemesis DLC, and it's a very good one, really fun to play, very full of flavour. So let's have a quick look at what we're getting down before the game begins. So we're going to be starting with 3 of these P4s, which are going to be coming with those 4-man recon squads, the Akoro, and they have the LRAC F1 AT, which is useful for sniping enemy transports early on. We've also got those followed up by a couple of AML 90s. These are really fast recon cars with a 90mm gun. They also have military police trait in this deck. And we've got the VBC 90s. Again, military police trait, really useful for removing some of the cohesion loss from your units. So nice to have that. Then we got the new truck with the 20mm, followed by a couple of VAB Milans, which are busy trying to overtake. They have a group anti-char, which are the double Appleas AT squads. We've got the Crotal behind, which is a long-range radar AA piece. And then we have a couple of reservists, which are, well, pretty much what it says on the tin, reservists with LRACs in this case. A decent AT, but they are reserved, so you do need the military police trait with them, which thankfully, as I've pointed out already, this deck has a lot of. Then we have the Leclerc MSC, which is the prototype Leclerc. Really interesting tank because it has only 18 penetration, but 12 round per minute rate of fire autoloader with 75% accuracy in this case with that one vet. We've got an AMX-13 with a military police trait as well, with military police inside. I've got towards the center a couple of Republican guards, a Milan 1, and we've also got the Jeep, which is capping our sectors for us. So a little bit of an engagement early on in the air. You might have seen there was some MiGs taking on a friendly Tornado. Unfortunately, they got the better of our team on that one. But we've spotted some Motorrazvedka here, which have been dropped off by an MI8T. I'm surprised the MI8T didn't hang around there to kill the recon infantry, because that would have allowed this Motorrazvedka to sit in position, but instead we're able to get the AML 90s and the 2 VBC 90s on target, and now the twin 20mm as well, and that's going to be able to finish off that squad before my recon gets taken out. Now my plan at the start of the game here, other than getting clustered by the MiG-21 and taking out both of my VBCs, very sadly, at the start, was to get into the corner of this sector. And I did manage to do that with my recon infantry, which gave us a little bit of a foothold for me to get my infantry quite far up here, or at least know that I can move my infantry further up. And the AMX-13 is providing the military police trait immediately to the reservists nearby. So it's taking away that reservist trait they have and increasing their accuracy, which is allowing them to defeat these guards that are against us, supplied by Vector and his second guards, Monostrauki. Now my twin 20mm does get taken out by the enemy tank. Leclerc not able to get on target. MiG-21 coming in, taking out one of my reservist squads. But meanwhile, we've got the Republican guards engaging on my right flank. And these chaps are well equipped. And they also have some pretty nice uniforms. On the back there, you can see a FAMAS with the AT ready to go. That is an AT shell that they can launch with that to kill enemy transports. It's not very accurate. You can see it's only got 35% accuracy, but a super cool flavor to have in the game. Crotal already getting low on ammo, as there has been a lot of aircraft flying overhead, but not too much luck in shooting anything down. I have brought up another twin 20mm on the truck so that we can deal with enemy helicopters, because the Mi-8T with the rockets that I saw early on could potentially be a problem. Now Eagle's done a good job here of getting the sniper into the back line, so he's going to be able to use that to spot enemy infantry, or sorry, enemy artillery throughout the game, and he's trying to use the A109 BA helicopter to spot enemy FOBs. So more reinforcements on the way. One of the big things that this deck does well is its combination of reserves plus military police. So every time I'm bringing in a couple of reservists, I'm also bringing in a military police behind it, so that we have those reservists running at full power. We've also got a lot of supply coming in, which is very nice. We just have the 6 supply trucks in this deck, which gives me about 12,000 supply throughout the game, which is a reasonable amount. Another VBC 90 on the way since the other 2 got destroyed already, and you can see a second Crotal is joining the first up on the top here. I've also managed to sneak this AML 90 all the way around, and I'm going to try and put that in a position where I'm hitting the reinforcing road. So the reinforcements are going to come from this point over here, drive all the way down this road, past the AML 90, and if I sit the ML 90 in the right position so that we can't be seen down the road, but we can shoot at them as they come past, we'll be getting like side shots, rear shots onto some important targets there. Another cool unit here, the GIGN, running into the building with their MP5s, taking a lot of rocket hits, unfortunately, from an Mi-24V in the process. And here's the AML 90 trying to take care of the BTR 80. If I can kill that, we basically get a free infantry kill, but unfortunately the AML 90 in this case letting me down. Accuracy only 45% is not ideal. Yeah, these guys are pretty interesting. The MP5s are good for taking out infantry at close range, but they are going to die against other specialized close range infantry because they lack satchels, which is a bit of a shame. So my 20mm, twin 20mm, trying to have a go at the Mi-24, but we don't get the stun in time, so we end up dying to the WORNO. So instead the Crotal is moving into position to take shots instead, and I'm trying to get a Republican Guard leader into the corner of the sector to start contesting this, which will push our +1 to a +2. MiG-21 does get the kill onto my poor AML after it fails to get any kills, but the Crotal at least manages to take out the Mi-24, so we're safe for the time being. Mi-24K on the left, which is the recon variant, getting very scarily close to my snipers here, so I'm going to have to move back with the P4 just to not reveal their location. You might think they're in here or maybe further up rather than on the right hand side there, but this is snipers in a really nice spot to just see if anything else is trying to flank around me, and I can also see into the back of my opponent's sector. So reservists managed to get quite far up here, but we haven't got the military police with them. The military police straight with them, so you can see that their cohesion is dropping very fast. They're going to get stunned, start routing, and that is a problem if you do forget to bring that military police straight with you. But at closer ranges, you see these guards are getting taken care of, the Sapari RPO. They're currently being hit by the Leclerc, so they have low cohesion, and see the rate of fire here really coming into play. Great for taking out sort of light and medium targets quickly and providing fire support over time against infantry. Like high rate of fire tanks are really, really good. Milan 1 trying to get in position on the flank here just so that we can engage this road that could potentially be used for reinforcements. We've also got another one on the right side here going for the T-72B1. Unfortunately not able to pick that off, but I do have a couple of Mirage F1Cs coming in. On the bottom left, you can see that I purchased 2 of these cluster ones. They come with 2 305 kilogram cluster bombs, useful for killing enemy armor. But over time, with the help of the military police, we have started to break down these guards. There's 2 more behind, however. In the middle, here comes the cluster. Using that to help Eagle here, who's having a bit of a bad time as Tommy pushes in very fast. But my 2 Mirages are successful in taking out these T-72s, which you can see as that one cooks off. Always really cool when you see that animation play out. But yeah, I've just got to make sure I continue the infantry engagement here, get my units into good positions to provide fire support. Like in this situation, maybe I should be moving my Jeep here so that it can get its machine gun on target. Same with the VAB Milans, they have 50 cals. That would just be good DPS. As long as we stay out of the 500 meter range of these guards' RPGs, it's always a good idea to try and get those machine guns on target. Now this push from Tommy is getting a little bit out of hand here. Fortunately, Eagle does have some units coming through the tree line here, but my right flank is very exposed at India, and that could be a big problem as I'm trying to push quite deep into enemy territory at Gulf. So Mirage F1C going to come in, actually manages to take out the Mi-24 quite rapidly, but gets intercepted by the MiG-23. MiG-21's coming in for the bombing strikes, do hit me pretty hard. Cluster also doing well, but does manage to get shot down this time around. The Leclerc dies, my special forces die, but otherwise we're all right. Interesting to see Eagle here using the Belgian UAV. it's a cool one because it's powered by a big jet there on the back. We got some instructors now coming in. So these are the AMX-30 B2s, another really strong part of this battle group. These AMXs are reserve, which does mean they're a little bit cheaper, but if you have the instructor with them, it takes away the reservist traits and it also gives them veterancy. So if you combine two AMX-30 B2s with an instructor AMX and make sure the AMX instructor doesn't die first, you can get some really powerful and cheap tanks for like a good price, and they can just work through, again, medium to light targets, especially infantry, because they have a 20 mil in the turret as well. You see there with the veterancy, the 2 vet, the 77% accurate 20 mil just ripped that Mi-24 out of the sky. And this AMX-30 now engaging the T-62 here, hoping to get the second shot off first. And I do manage to do so. So nice T-62 kill that has the T2A2 APS system on it, which is one of the new units available with Don 100, which is what Tommy is playing opposing us today. Group Antijar going to be moving up to get their Appalachian on target. Really scary unit for the BMP2s and the T-72s to deal with, but unfortunately can quite get to the building quick enough, so the cohesion is low. That means their accuracy is down to 27%, as you can see on the bottom left. These reservists also having a very bad time of it, as the fire support gets a little overwhelming for that infantry squad. So I'm going to be bringing in some more aircraft shortly, including the Mirage 2000C with the ICM. The ICM variant has 6 90-kilogram cluster bombs, which are HE cluster. So kind of interesting, but my first Mirage does get intercepted by AA and is forced to leave. Unfortunately gets killed on the way out. I was attempting to hit that T-72 with the first one, but wasn't very successful. And you see the HE cluster hitting the infantry nicely there, but another of my cluster planes gets taken out, so a bit unfortunate, but nice bombing strikes followed up by Eagle. F-16 with the HEs and clusters do manage to take out the leader in the sector on the left-hand side. So whilst we did lose a lot of aircraft, we did do a lot of damage, and we took out the enemy leader, which is going to push our conquest lead further ahead. So guards, engaging guards, Republican guards versus the Soviet guards. We also take out the guards Polomachiki. Crotals starting to hit the mark. This is a Su-15, really cool aircraft. Not able to get much value out of those, as they do take a lot of damage without getting any kills. But AMX-30 still sat in a good position here, ready and waiting to engage the T-62s as they come up. And the AMX-30, you've got to be a little bit careful because, as you can see, they only have 9 frontal armor, which is not very good for dealing with 18 penetration from a T-62. But we are managing to get the fire rate on target, and we do manage to clean up both of those tanks on our right flank, so that's good for us. Crotals trying to get reloaded fast enough, and the supply struggling to keep up with the amount of missiles we need in order to shoot down enemy aircraft and enemy helicopters. Milan 1 still sitting in a good position on this left-hand side. Snipers still alive on my left flank with this recon here as well. So we've got our flanks covered with recon. The main force of our opponent has been wiped out for the time being. My aircraft helped a little bit in the middle, and now Eagle has managed to get a bit of a defensive line going, and General Gobbledygook is coming to save the day there as well. Su-25 with rockets coming in. Ihawk hits it first, Crotals finish it off. Lovely stuff. BMP-2 taken out on the right flank by the AMX-30. I do have the supply behind to make sure I can fix those up when needs be. BBC-90 having a go at the 30mm grenade launcher, and we managed to take that out as well. So we're getting good trades across the board. Other than that big air attack that we did, that was a very bad trade. But it did give us the ground we needed to continue our conquest lead. But the Leclerc, the new one coming in, figured that this would be useful if we're constantly engaging infantry at range. It can also be quite nasty in the side armor against heavier tanks if you can get it into the right position, because it's quite reliable with the 75% accuracy. My third Crotal joining the party on the left-hand side, just trying to shut down the air completely. If you have a lot of these Crotals, they've got a reasonable amount of accuracy. So 55% base accuracy. And you can see in this case, this one's got some hits on target. Damage increases veterancy, so he's got 2 vet because he's got 1 vet probably from hitting targets, and then the extra vet's coming from the leader nearby. And that's going to help you hit the mark a lot more frequently than you otherwise would. So Eagles managed to slip a Fusilier into the corner here. And that has now given us the +2. Su-25 trying its best, but does get taken out. Those Su-25 AT2s are pretty nasty. They do have S-25 rockets on them, which are pretty good at taking out tanks. Our Republican guards getting ripped. Unfortunately, came out the wrong side of that building and are going to get mown down by the twin 20mm, 23mm of the Ural. Guards SPD up against these Republican guards, just going to start falling back some of these units whilst my reinforcements arrive. In this case, I'm just bringing up a bunch of these 20mm units. These 20mm can be useful for engaging enemy infantry as well as helicopters, and we have seen the use of Mi-8s, Mi-24s already throughout the game, so I'm looking to make sure I shut down any plays like that. Tornado GR1 coming in with the Seed, looking for the kills onto the Osas on that left-hand side. And I'm going to be bringing in a Mirage 2000 ICM. I love the paint job on these. Delivery looks super cool. I'm just looking for the cluster into the corner. And that's going to be hitting enemy infantry. And ends up actually clipping the leader as it moves forward. So really good for us. But there is a second leader in there. Republican guards don't get out the way in time. And my infantry is stripped away. We are waiting for more to arrive. And again, 2 reservists, 1 military police. Every time, 2 reservists, 1 military police. These ones are actually heading to the center of the map to help secure Alpha. That's where a lot of my resources were going, which is why it's given a chance for Vector to push back on this side with Tommy. Tommy's brought up some reinforcements here to help try and clear that out. But the 20mm firing away. Superior PO slowly getting chipped. The guards, as they move forwards, would also take the same. This 20mm was actually doing a nice job of damaging the BTR 80s here, and the Republican Guard was trying its best to get the shot on target. You see him there with the FAMAS. Missing the BTR 80 once again. So AMX-30s from the mid being redirected to the left side. Bombing strike takes out the leader. So I'm hoping that I can at least full cap this sector before my leader dies. I do manage to succeed. Crotal trying to get on target. My other Crotals unfortunately taken out in all of fighting so far. Reinforcements are arriving, just got to make sure they're covered, so the Leclerc moving into position to finish off the BTR-80s. AMX-30s looking for potential side shots onto the T-80U. This T-80U OBR-89 is a really scary beast. It's potentially the scariest tank in the entire game. 345 points, 21 penetration, 21 front armor. So even the highest penetration tanks will only do like 1 damage to the front of that thing. So reservists into the fight, maybe a little bit too soon. As you can see, I was scrambling to pull back a little bit, wait for the military police trait to arrive. We need to make sure that those reservists are recovering from that cohesion loss, but also not being hit by the enemy forces. In this case, well, MiG-21 finishes the job. So it's just the military police left in this case. And I'm going to be working on trying to finish off those Sapari. But there's no enemy leader here at the moment. My leader stayed alive as long as it needed to. I can always bring up a new one, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. And we're slowly but surely moving my reservists and military police into the center of the map. So we've got a couple of VBC-90s that are holding at range, and then we've got the reservist blob that's going to be sat in that tree line. Got a few units further back that are still fixing up. But here comes the next wave. These guys, they're not reservists, so I don't need to worry about having the military police with them. These are just the Gren voltages with the Appalachians, so they're going to be making short work of these APCs. And if I can get close enough to this T-80, that's also going to be taking a decent amount of damage as well. Although, again, 21 penetration means the front armor of that T-80 is pretty strong against those AT launchers. Now, I'm really worried here that I'm going to get double clustered, so you can see me start to split. I'm just fast moving down the road there. Fortunately, the Leclerc still gets caught out. Second one will survive for the time being. We'll just move it back towards the supply shortly to make sure we fix it up. So guards versus Gren voltages, a lot of them. I'll be taken care of shortly. And the attrition on the left, certainly working in my favor over time. With the new leader arriving, I'll be giving the extra veterancy to these troops as well, which will be very helpful. But at the moment, just trying to shift up if I can a bit, see if I can get any of the Appalachians on target. The Appalachians does have a reasonable range of 750 meters, so looking to utilize that to clean up the fire support. Unfortunately, with the Mi-24K and the Barusa firing away, Gren voltages are not long for this world. Now, General Gobbledygook coming in with the Lars to help us out. These Lars, they have 110mm rockets. They're not terribly effective. They will lower the cohesion of enemy forces quite efficiently, but otherwise, yeah, they're just going to be chipping little bits of damage here and there against the enemy. 20mm, trying its best to clean up the Mi-8. He managed to take that down. And we're just going to wait for the next wave. I'm also trying to get my supply further forward so that we can fix up the Gren voltages. Got another trio of AMX-10s, or AMX-30s coming up. The instructor, plus the two reservist ones. Also now got artillery firing away. This is the big 155mm artillery. So I was using that to try and chip away at some of the units in these buildings. Nice hits there. That is from Eagle's M109A2s. Artillery can be a very effective way of taking out enemy heavy tanks, and the T-80U does go down. The Barusa almost as well. So Leclerc moving up. And try and take out those BTR-80s. They're really difficult for the infantry to deal with because BTR-80s, they have the KPVT with the 1,400 meter range. So if you stay at range, the 750 millimeter or 750 meter AT launcher just can't really touch you. Conker's here potentially going to cause issues, but with the 20 mil on those AMX-30s in play, they're both going to go down very fast. We also managed to take out the Barusa. In this case, just going to be smoking off, falling back, as there's even more than I had anticipated in position. So reservists now coming up. These are reservist sappers. Be a bit better at engaging enemy infantry at close range. You'll also notice that I am slipping some AMX-30s through the cracks here. Potentially can pick off some reinforcements. Middle's very much locked down now by General Gobbledygook and Eagle, and he's managed to control his right sector for the entire game, Gobbledygook, so doing a good job there. We're still trying to contest this. Artillery coming in from M109s once again. Unfortunately missing the blob of infantry that was just purchased, but managing to hit, or at least force back, the enemy leader. So reservists, sappers, getting caught out by this ATGM unfortunately, but we'll know the rest, and they're going to be sitting in position as we do manage to full cap the sector. Got a backup leader on the way, the VAB PC, just in case we need it, because currently we got Eagle's infantry in there. And I like that this game, our team here, Eagle and General Gobbledygook, we're working together throughout the game to kind of break down each sector one by one. Obviously, Eagle had a bit of trouble early on, so everybody piled in on that. And now on the left-hand side, we've got a good opportunity to full cap the sector, so everybody's kind of helping out on this side. And I think the team worked together pretty well here. Lars coming in once again to help chip the infantry. And the good thing about Lars in this situation is if they start engaging the gun voltages, then we're going to be able to win those engagements because the sapper is just coming in with low cohesion. But double Mirage ICM, drop in their HE cluster. It's going to wipe a lot of their infantry very quickly. I also hit the cluster onto the enemy leader. So we've managed to do a lot of work there. The IGN zooming in. Look at this thing, this little car. So the DIEGN drop into position. The guy in the truck is getting the hell out of there. That was such a hot drop. So cool to see these kinds of units in the game, honestly. Nice fire support from a distance here. The AMX-30s, plus the nuclear, helping clean up the guards pretty fast indeed. Guards Pulamachiki already, again, low on cohesion after those bombing strikes and artillery. So we're able to win against those quickly. And this is where the special forces can really shine. The MP5s at close range here, ripping apart the guards. We've also got the remainder of my reservists coming in. They'll be accompanied by the AMX-13 military police vehicle. On this side, bit of an engagement. All of my reservists now going to be pushing forwards to try and help clean that up. I'm going to try and get my dual 20mm a bit further up. The Crotal is creeping forwards into range as well. The MO24K here was a real problem throughout the game, and I could never quite get line of sight onto it. Bit of a rough one. Also, my artillery probably could have used this a bit more efficiently throughout the game. You can see it's all currently towed up, but ready to unload. But here come the reservists. Military police making them work at full power. So the Superior RPO having a bit of a hard time. The other nice thing in this situation is, like, we have the LRACs to engage the T62s. Now these aren't the good LRACs, they're only the 73s, so the 13 pen, but it's enough to get through the T62 in this case. We've got another one of those newer tanks with the APS systems on them. Just this military or militia leader here. He's the one guy who's capping the sector. And finally he goes down. That's going to give us back the full cap. Reservists cleaning up the remainder of the special forces here. There's some getting wiped out by overwhelming numbers. So we take that back for the +2. On the left, we're looking for the enemy leader once again. And in the center, we're pushing hard to try and get into Charlie. My MX-13 actually went pretty deep. They don't really do much because they just have a machine gun on them, but we did manage to capture that Kraz, as you can see. That transport truck sat back there. I do have some of these Alouettes coming up. These are interesting because they just have like the AS-11, which is a 19 pen HGM and can do a decent amount of damage in the side armor. But I just think they look really cool. Just bringing them up in this case to show them off. Maybe take out a BMP-2 or something with them. But we are already under threat by enemy AA. These AS-11s, they only have 48% accuracy. In that case, I actually managed to slam dunk the BMP-2, so pretty happy with that. That's a 65-point unit taken out by my 35-point helicopter, so actually good value for money. And we take out a second with the second HGM, so yeah, great stuff. 20 mil working overtime once again to kill another Mi-8T. Reservist infantry, trying to get them topped up with some supply. Also got another group of VABs coming in. So in this case, with the VBC 90s, I always like to bring in like the VBC 90s with the VBC leader, just to make sure you've got that extra accuracy. Because these troops are a bit hit and run, having the accuracy to make sure you're getting that sort of alpha damage in before the enemy can react is super important. Really nice work by the M109s, just constantly harassing the enemy forces on the back of that sector. My reservists and the military police finally getting cleaned up in the center, but that has certainly delayed their push back, which may give us time to sort of seal the deal here. As you can see, it's only 3 minutes until a conquest victory. So VBC 90s again, just sort of slipping up on this left-hand side, looking for the flanking engagements, while the Leclerc and the AMX-30 come in from the front. The AB Milan and the Milan 2. Going to get the initial damage off, and the VBCs finish the job. Now this is a really bad engagement for the T-80, well, for the VBC 90s against the T-80U OBR 89. These VBCs are not going to be doing much damage at all to the front armor of that thing, so got to kind of stay in the trees where I can. We're still cleaning up a decent amount of units. My AMX-30s are actually getting pretty deep into enemy territory now. I'm also bringing them some anti-air support just in case. With these helicopters hanging about, I was hoping to maybe kill them if they were trying to fall back towards the base or something. BBC 90s, take out a T62, take out a BMP-2, nicely done. This is the S-25 rocket, Su-25, cleaned up nicely by the Krotal. Unfortunately, HGM getting the better of the VBC 90 as it stopped hitting the mark. And here, really good kill for us. T-64 intercepted on the way to the front. And that's going to prevent them from contesting that left sector once again. The Leclerc moving up. I'm going to be a bit careful not to get too close to the enemy infantry here. We do have double machine gun plus the main gun that we can put on target. But those AT weapons would put my Leclerc in a bit of a hole. Doesn't have the craziest armor, only 14 front armor. Means those RPGs can hit pretty hard. MX-30. Trying to engage the BMP-2s as they come in. Got a couple of advantage here, moving up. Hoping that they can maybe engage some of these vehicles. Lovely side shot there from the Milan 2. Unfortunately for me, Su-22 from Jagdsource cleans up my AMX on that road. But with only 1 minute left, it's not long until we seal this game. And yeah, taking out another one of those expensive T-80s is really, really good for us. The MX-30s are going to continue firing away. We got artillery landing all over the place. Again, Eagle just pumping away with the M109s. I did use my artillery another time to start hitting some of this infantry. And it has chipped them down quite a lot. Should allow us to completely secure that sector. 20 seconds left on the clock. Tommy pushing as hard as he can with the Jagdsource in the middle to try and clean things out. More reinforcements on the way. I've got my sappers. Sorry, these are reservist sappers. We got some Republican Guards. We got the Grand Voltigeurs with the Appalachians. Should be able to contest those trees quite nicely. And there you have it. That's victory. So, very nice game to show off this new division. 7,975 kills in the end for me. 5,915 losses. Reasonable KD, considering how back and forth that was on the left-hand side. Vector putting up a nice fight. But yeah, GIGN there. Close range engagements against these infantry winning out nicely for us. Crotals probably could have had more of those in sooner in order to deal with the helicopters and the aircraft, but otherwise, decent job done by those. The Mirage, you know, it's doing its job. Yeah, they're getting shot down eventually, but ultimately you want to just make sure you get that big damage in. Reserve AMX-30B2s. You can see these AMXs, how much they can rip. Look at this Instructor one, just absolutely slamming units. VBC 90 also getting a lot of work done, and the Leclerc keeping that alive for a long time helped out. So you know, all of these units really getting some good value, and that's what I like about this deck. Everything's really fun to use. Everything's quite effective to use as well. And as long as you're utilizing your military police trait with your reservist units, you're all good. But that's it for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.